Hello everybody and welcome back to Sagevivor. We're in episode 7 today and we went with the infamous Tetris challenge. So if you love Tetris, this challenge is for you. If you don't love Tetris, this challenge is gonna rock your shit. But it's based on a team-based kind of effort, so we're just taking the average of everybody, so hopefully every tribe has some good and some bad, or they're cooked. Friendly reminder, if you haven't already, please smash that like button for me to show your support for the series. The better that this series does, the more that I can turn around and reinvest into Sagevivor as a whole. So it doesn't only help me out, but it also helps out the cast of Sagevivor and future casts of Sagevivor. So go ahead and do that and subscribe, please. But that's enough yapping from me. Let's get into the tea.
Y'all said Survivor 8. You didn't mention Survivor Eaten, because I'm getting eaten alive.
If I feel like you're not connecting with me, that's a you problem.
Everything she says is either blunt or bitchy.
Yeah, I don't really care for them. I'll vote them out.
This season's gonna be nuts.
Welcome to Sagevivor. Welcome to Sagevivor. Welcome to the island where the heat's turned up high, where the flavors are fierce and the flames never die. You better bring your A game, your spice and your sass, cause in this kitchen jungle you're cooking to last. From sweet to sour, salty to spice, each dish a battle, each meal's a dice. The fire's raging, the stove's red hot. Who's serving up victory and who's getting caught? It's Sagevivor 8, the taste of survival, serving up the heat from breakfast to trial. You gotta outcook, outfeed, outlast, or you'll be the next dish burning up way too fast.
I feel like I have to do confessional because I did not expect to stay. I actually was busy yesterday. I was like, let me just do a voice note. I didn't feel like doing a whole long extended one like I usually do. But now I am here. So I guess let's recap everything. Okay, so first we had that hotel challenge, which literally set me mentally insane. I spiraled so bad. Like, I do not do well in like group chats, I guess. Like, I don't like when there's a lot of people. It makes me feel overwhelmed. It makes me like literally feel like a child again, and that I'm being ignored by everyone. So I don't like them. I never really talk in like let's say Big Brother like living rooms, like when the game first starts. I usually never really talk in them. It takes like, now like I'm on a tribe with three other people now, but so that's like more manageable. Anyway, I just don't like them, and they genuinely make me very anxious and having to wait for things and having to plan my day. Like, it just genuinely was not good for me. I didn't really complain like some people did, but so I'm trying to find out what libraries near me have this book, because mine decided to be closed today, and that wasn't fun. Yeah, okay, anyway, so like I said, I was not having a very good time at all. It wasn't very cool. But I somehow managed to be the second person out. No, not somehow managed. I sat at my computer literally like this for almost an hour waiting for the message. Because, you know what? Let me just do this. Let me just get out, and then I can enjoy my day. I won't have to worry or anything. This sucks because I don't think any libraries near me have it. I'm having a terrible day. Anyway, so I did that, and then I was like, okay, cool, I can relax. I don't have to worry about anything. I can go about my day. I don't have to be insane. Isn't that nice? Isn't that lovely? Doesn't that sound like just your ideal day? Anyway, so then I'm like, cool, like, I don't really even, like, was it the smartest move? Because I didn't really know anyone in my tribe, and so I didn't have the chance to get to know them. I don't know. But I just knew that it was better for me mentally to just get the fuck out of there. And I could always connect with people later, you know. I also thought the best course of action would be to try to fucking win immunity because I felt really fucked. And I was like looking at it on paper, I'm like, this is not good because we have 3-burger majority, and then Katie knows Jules. So like, look at the scenario. I'm not doing very well.
All right, good morning. Look, a girl can do a confessional that's not from her car. Isn't that impressive? Instead, you're going to do a get ready with me today, I guess, while we talk about the crap that happened yesterday. Because let me tell you, my game felt real good until yesterday. And now I don't know what to think about it, and my head is spinning. I'm actually getting ready to go to Indiana tomorrow for the International Thespian Festival, which is really exciting. Some of my kids qualified for the international level of like the individual competition. So I have a couple students doing musical theater. I have a trio. We have 2 soloists. And then I have a student who got top of the state for set design. And so, yeah, we're looking forward to that. So let's get into it. First off, Katie's gone.
I'm not off to a great start already. So whatever. And then the next day, Katie, without my permission, takes me back in, and I wanted to fucking kill them. No, I didn't. I love them. But I was like, why? Like, I get it. But it was like really annoying. This is not fun. But I was like, I get their reasoning, but like, it was like, I literally mentally cannot do this. Like, I'm not going to be able to devote the time needed to. But I was like, but Katie, they're so nice, and they were like, I got you, like, we're gonna get you out, like, let's find a way first. And then they told me about this puzzle, so I started doing this puzzle, and I'm like, okay, like, I'm good at puzzles, I could definitely do this. No one claimed it from the night before, I guess, and so I was like, okay, cool, I could definitely do this is not a problem for me. And so I'm doing the puzzle, and I have Discord open on my phone, and I was like, oh, I'll just try to, like, look over, like, I really don't think that I'm gonna be able to do the puzzle at the same time and also look over at my phone. But I look over, and I see Eggplant's typing, and I realized that the last message in the chat was from Eggplant, like, a certain amount of minutes ago. So I was like, I don't think that they're following up. I think that they're doing a check-in. So I just send it and I get out. Literally like within the same half an hour, which is hilarious. And I had a mental breakdown for no reason. But it's okay. I actually did cry because I was so frustrated. But like, you know, there's tears of frustration. That's how I felt.
Ain't no way KD deserved 15th place. Are you kidding me? There's at least like 10 other people that should have been out before Katie. What that means is my game that I thought I was playing is not the right strategy anymore. So we're going to pivot. Because I really did think that Katie aligned themselves in a place to be safe. I mean, I know for a fact that that's what Katie was trying to do for me. And Katie, if you're watching this, you're a real one. I'm so sorry you got an early vote. This does not look like what I thought it was going to look like. The only redeeming factor is that Rob's in this tribe with me right now, and we can kind of pivot and work together. And I kind of hate it because I feel like I have to like do a little bit of a backseat to align with the same people Rob has aligned with, because I clearly can't trust, and don't get me wrong, that's not a bad thing. I really do trust Rob, and I do think we are each other's number ones.
Hey, I'm going to work. I don't know how busy it's gonna be today, so I'm gonna make my video confessional now. What an episode this has been. We get demolished in the challenge. Aegis, being Aegis, like sits out of the challenge and then sends a 4-minute rant about themselves.
Though I do realize I've told Rob that he's my number one. I don't know if he's told me if he's I'm his number one anyway. But the alliance that I thought I had made for Rob and I clearly isn't right. Because I would have thought that Jules would have protected KD since we had that alliance. And the only thing I can make sense of it is that Jules, Sarah, and Chewy did a Burger Strong thing and turned on Katie.
All right, all I gotta say, let's go! Yeah! Yeah!
So, that being said, as much as it pains me to say it, I think Aegis is going to be our vote come trial. And now I'm pretty sure Katie put Swan on here on my tribe to be an easy vote, because on the other tribe, Swan wasn't super active, but I've always really liked Swan. I feel like our personalities are very similar. The only downside to Swan is they haven't been on. And I mean, at least unlike the Whitney vote, Swan was like, hey, I have to work, or hey, I'm doing this. So we kind of knew what was going on.
Jacob announces that he is going to be a father. Adis then says, oh, I'm moving in with my boyfriend. We don't know when yet, but we're moving in together. And then, do you want any fatherhood advice? I'm like, girl. And then this morning, completely overlooks that I said my grandma's in the hospital, and then sends 3 pictures of her and her fucking grandma. And I had a fucking enough. Girl, I'm done. Just like, it's just like, you only think about yourself. Like, does no one told you this before? I just don't understand. Like, you really only think about yourself. It's insane. Like, I'm just not brought up that way, and I think of other people all the time. So maybe too much, but like, regardless, like, yeah, I'm a little selfish, and every work player is a little narcissistic, but like, this is a whole nother level. Like, holy fucking shit. And then Swan goes on his journey, comes back. Apparently Chewy wants Swan to idle me out, and I'm like, that ain't happening, girlfriend. Like, Swan wants to like flush his idol, this tribal, and I was just like, girl, why are you gonna waste your idol? Like, we could use that later. But if Swan wants to do that, I mean, I'll respect his decision, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't get it. No, I get it. But it's just also like, don't waste your idol, I think.
And then I get picked to go to the journey, which was very nice. Thank you guys. Until I get to the journey, I'm talking to Swan and Kate, and I know Swan prior to this, and I really liked Kate, and we were just kind of like, you know, chatting, girl gossiping, whatever, about the journey and stuff. And they were like, we'll help you, and they were giving me intel. I was doing the same thing. I told people who to like get close to, and they're like, we'll help you. Then it's a more dilemma where you have to give someone an idol and someone a self-vote, and I'm like, I don't feel good about this. I really don't think that they're gonna help me with this, but I'm gonna hold on hope. And what do? I get the self-vote. In this moment, I know that it's over. I know that there is nothing that I can do to get out of it at this point, because I don't even have a vote, and I'm voting for myself. Wow. So when I see Swan and Kate, I swear to God, on everything. But at least I know who has the idol, which is great. Swan has the idol.
I feel good about my position. I think merge. Apparently people think that me, Jason, and Katie are a trio, which I 99% think it was Apple who spread this rumor, because Apple was near the bottom of our original tribe, and Apple had to do what he had to do to survive at his 5-1 merge swap. So I get it, but also I'm like, fuck you, Apple. Like, you're gonna go home like early, if I had to say in it. But yeah, I think that there's a slight target on me, because Chewy just wanted Swan to fucking idle me out, and I'm just like, girl, I'm too pretty to go home this early. So that's not happening. But all in all, Adis, you're going home. I'm done with your shit. Like, I can't deal with this level of not awareness of other people around you and only talking about yourself. I'm so over it, and I'm gonna work for 13 hours today, and by the time trial comes, I'll be happy to see you go home. And I hope, and Adis, if you are listening to this, I really hope you learn from this, and maybe consider not leaving people on red for 3 days, not making every single thing about yourself. And I really hope that you learn and grow from this, because I think you are not a bad person. I just think that you need someone to tell you to get it together. With much love.
On paper, I'm fucked. Self-vote, I'm fucked. And then in the journey, they're telling me I'm getting blindsided. I'm fucked. So I hatch a plan. Was it a good plan? I don't know. My plan is to obviously lie about the journey that I was in or on, and come up with this crazy power But again, like, my whole point is for them to know I'm lying. I want them to know that I'm lying. I want them to be scared. Like, I want them to be like, okay, like, she's obviously lying, and the only reason that she would possibly lie is because she has the power or she lost her vote. So, I don't know. That was just my plan. My plan was to just, like, lie and kind of, like, make it obvious that I'm lying, but not too obvious where it's like, okay, she wants us to know she's lying, something's up. But, and I was trying to tell people throughout the day, I kind of just felt defeated. I was like, I really don't think that there's much that I could do. Even without this self-vote, would I stay? I was very, very worried. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep hammering that I'm on the bottom. Like, use me as you want. Like, I will vote however you want. I'm just looking for people to vote with me. Like, you don't have a vote. Like, that was my plan. That was my plan throughout the day. And I was like, okay, like, let's just hope this works. And then drop subtle lies to, again, point to the fact that I'm lying about this journey. So I was like, because I said originally, I was like, I was scared of losing my vote. And then I mentioned in tribal, oh, I didn't have the time. I don't think people read into it, but that was my plan. And then in the last hour, I'm just like, oh my God, like, this is so bad. And then Katie just spirals, and they kind of just dig the grave for themselves. And I don't think that gonna be honest, I don't know if I can really take credit for it. I don't really know what I did. I would say the only thing that I really did, because my journey thing wasn't working, unless maybe that it subconsciously did and people were worried, was that I didn't do anything. Katie kind of just did their big one, and that dug them into a hole and allowed me to kind of crawl out of that hole with them. They went down and I went up. But like I said, I didn't lose my mind, and Katie did. I don't want to say that they lost their mind, but they definitely spiraled, which I threw out everyone's name. So they kind of did the work for me. Honestly, I think my best move was just letting it happen. And I was really nervous because Chewy's like, oh, the vote's on Katie. And then a second later, Sarah's like, the vote's on Katie. And I'm like, I don't know, it felt a little shady to me. Like, but I was like, okay, whatever. I really don't think that they're voting KD, but maybe they are. And I don't know. I was just going back and forth. And then I see the 2 Liv votes, and then I see the 2 KD votes, and I'm like, do we have hope? And then Katie gets voted out. So I don't really know how I pulled that one off. I mean, I don't even really know if I can legally say I pulled that one off. I might have just been a fortunate person of the circumstances. I'm going to just choose to believe that I pulled it off, but I do think that I played my cards right the best that I could. That was the best that I could, you know? My other plan was to pretend that I did get the idol, and then leak it to, like, tell Katie and hope that they would leak it. But then I was like, okay, like, maybe if they're thinking, like, it's me or them, they're not going to tell people that I'm an idol, you know? And then, like, what if they actually do trust me and believe me, and then they're like, oh my God, great, well, I'll vote you and you idol yourself, like, you know? So this was the best course of action. I don't know, but it worked. I
don't really hold that against Swan. I mean, as long as you're able to check in and not leave people on red for days, I feel like that's fine. Where, like, Whitney, I guess, you know, just left me on red for a while. So I'd rather keep Swan, because I don't know, and I want to check in with Swan to see where their loyalties lie. But I would like to keep Swan because I think that we can play this game together. I already made an alliance with Swan and Rob, the Lannisters. Game of Thrones reference for all of you that don't know it. And we all chose our little people that we are. I ended up choosing Sansa because I don't want to be Cersei, because, like, shame. Even though Swan claimed her, because he's like, I drink so much wine, so I'll take that. Rob is definitely Tyrion, but I do feel like I'm a Sansa, because in orgs and in my professional life, I'm also jokingly called Sansa. I get a lot of ish thrown my way, you know? I got a little shit thrown my way, and somehow I survive.
Also, I'm thinking about it more. It's just so funny to me that these people underestimate me. Because, like, Chewie wants Swan to idol me out? Honey, I'm the king of the pre-merge. Like, I'm probably, like, topping most of my pre-merge tribes. Pre-merge tribes' trust rankings. And Swan's on the bottom of your OG tribe? What is Rob gonna do in that situation? Probably get Swan to trust him. you can all underestimate me. I mean, there's a reason why I get far in these games, because I'm that bitch. And you can underestimate me all you want, but you're gonna be crying on the way to Ponderosa, and I'm gonna be laughing to the end game. So, Chewy, if you want to start a little war with Mr. Rob, honey, you got a big storm coming.
Because Chewy told me, like, in the day, like, oh, like, everyone thinks you're lying. And I'm like, what? Me, little old me, a liar. No, I don't lie. That was my whole plan. I want to look like a liar. So I did explain to everyone, like, I wrote, like, a hefty paragraph, like, hey, look, like, I go on this journey. They're telling me I'm going to be blindsided. I'm looking at the tribe. I don't have the numbers on paper. Like, I don't really have that challenge yet to connect with you guys. And then I get a self vote, and I'm not going to tell you guys about my fucking self vote. And so I'm just like, I just hope you guys can understand, like, my only tactic felt like I could scare you guys into not voting for me. And I talked to Sarah, and Sarah was, like, really understanding. I fucking love Sarah. Like, me and her, we were, like, talking a lot. And, like, we were a lot more transparent with each other, kind of like where we stood in the game and what we know and stuff like that, and how we feel about everything. So I really appreciate that. And she asked me if I wanted to voice chat, but it was at my boyfriend's, and I'm like, why you gotta work at 6:30? I should just want him to voice chat. No, just kidding. But like I said, yeah, so I did feel really good about Sarah. She understood, and I was like, I know it was a stupid plan. So we were joking about that, and, like, we were kind of, like, talking, and I was telling her more about the journey, what I learned, and, like, she even proposed maybe an alliance with me, her, and Jules, because Chewy sketched them out. And then I tell Jules, and Jules, again, was really understanding, and she's like, I get it.
That should have been, on paper, a straightforward tribal council. That's why I was willing to throw the challenge. But, like, obviously, Liv came back with a story from her time on the journey, and I didn't believe it. And I was right to not believe it, because she has come clean about it since. But she was being, like, pretty cool, calm, collected leading up to it. And Katie was going off. Katie was telling me that it was between, well, I said it was between Liv and Chewy, which was not true. But they were sort of parroting that back to me. They were telling Sarah that it's between me and Liv. And they were telling Chewy that it's between Sarah and Liv. Like, just messy for no reason. And then we also thought that if because Katie did seem to want to protect Liv. So they were sort of saying that, we were saying that if we all voted for Liv and she does have something, then she would play it and one of us would potentially go. So in the end, yeah, we just decided to vote for KD. I think it's also really good to separate that Edith relationship. Edith is going to be fucking pissed at us, but I don't really want Edith to be around that long at Merge anyway, because she's so unpredictable. So that's not really a concern. I might have to do some damage control with Katie, but I think I can explain that, hey, Katie was literally throwing out every single person's name. So, like, we just couldn't trust. And then having a conversation with Liv now, like, now that we're able to, we've kind of had to cut past the bullshit because there's no tribal or anything, and now we're being a bit more real with each other. And she was explaining about the journey, and I do believe her new story. She did get a self-vote, and then she was like, I'm so sorry for lying. And I was like, well, of course you're going to lie when you got a self-vote. Like, you're not going to come back and be like, oh yeah, guys, in a tribe of 5, I don't have a vote, and I'm already going to have a vote cast against me. Like, no way. But basically she said that now Swan has an idol, which is fantastic because he was going to be in trouble. So now I'm not worried at all. But also this new challenge, that I like the twist of the person with the highest individual score on the losing team gets immunity, because it means that, like, Swan's tribe can't throw the challenge. Like, if he's smart, he's not going to tell anyone what his score is, and hopefully he can get a really good score anyway, but they're going to be too nervous to throw in case he then becomes immune. But even if they do and he's not immune, he's now got an idol, so he's going to be okay. And then the other tribe, I'm hoping that Kate, I feel confident that Kate is going to survive. It's only Caden that I would be worried about. And I can't remember if I said this before, but, like, Jason and I were actually having a decent conversation, like, during the challenge. And, like, we were chatting away because he was talking about how he'd lost all this weight and that's why like the fat comment kind of upset him, which is like understandable. And I sort of talked about my struggles with my weight, and he was like giving me the best tips that he used to help lose weight, and they were all like really good tips. And I was just like, wow, this is really nice, like I really appreciate it. And he's like, but remember, I'm an asshole. I'm like, that's kind of funny, like that's the kind of humor I like. So but I don't think I'm gonna be able to work with him at Merge. I liked him, damn it. I hate when like everyone hates someone that you haven't met yet, and you meet them and you're like, oh, I actually like this person.
Sagevivor, who's that new look? Ooh. I feel so free. Here we are in episode 7. And we are doing a flash game challenge of Tetris right now currently, which, girl, you can do better. Flash game. Anyway, so we are now doing these flash games of Tetris. Kayden set out for us. Fun update on Kayden. Kayden and I have been talking more and more, and I know in my last video I was like, I want that guy out, and I still think that's probably true, but we did have the classic no one would suspect us as allies conversation, and I brought up to him that both he, Exy, and I each have one singular individual immunity shard, and he was like, oh, that means any of us could help any of us. I'm like, yes, it does.
Welcome back to the Survivor Let's Play series. Still on our tribes at this point. I like my tribe. It's pretty strong. We haven't lost yet. We're the only tribe not to lose, so that's always nice. Though it does kind of mean there's not a ton going on because we don't have votes really to consider. I still really like Apple. I still really like Jason. I still really like Kate. And then Kayden's just kind of there as the chaotic last guy of the tribe. So if we were to lose, Kayden would be the one going home, if I had to say on the matter. But I don't want to lose. It'd be better if we just don't. I don't know how much long-term value Kayden really has. I feel like his rivalry with Jason is not really as strong as it used to be, as it was, right when Jason stole his vote, because obviously they've had time to talk since then. And I mean, I might get trumped up in the merge, and it obviously is the basis of the vote for right now. I just think it's kind of politically expedient more than anything else.
So, I don't know. I guess there's an option there if we survive this. And our tribe doesn't have to go to tribal council, and we go into presumably either another swap or a merge, and all these people are still around. I guess it doesn't hurt to have Kayden as a possible ally. So that's interesting. So he's shitting out. And Eggsy is teaching us all how to play Tetris and has been sending us all these videos of master Tetris players with things called T-spins, and loving to argue with production about their way, which is the Exy way. So I'm recording a little early tonight because I have 2 shows tonight I'm performing in. So I will be at the theater when results are posted. Otherwise, I would wait and do it all at once. So that just means I'll do a second one. You'll get 2 videos from me. But right now, things are pretty chill. Again, like I keep ending up on these like tribes that are chill. I don't know if I'm bringing the chill energy, or it does help when you win a challenge and don't have to go to tribal. You just kind of, everyone takes a day, a mental health break for the day. So it's been pretty chill today. So we'll see once the results come in if we have to go to tribal.
I like Kate. Kate is an interesting case because she seems like she's done so much for me, and normally that would look weird. Like, okay, why are you being so nice to me and helping me out all the time? Which I guess is kind of an ironic thing to do because you feel like if somebody was super, super nice to you, then like be happy. It's just that it happened at such an expedient pace that it was strange. But then I remembered, oh right, yes, I understand now, because you're in the minority. It's 3-2, so that's why you're being super nice. So now that I remembered, why she's actually being so nice, and basically sheeping me. Oh, well, of course, because you'd get voted off otherwise. So that's so duh, of course, freaking. I can't believe I forgot that for a minute. So she's great. I hope we can continue our relationship in merge, and I suppose it'll be a bit more equal then, especially if a solid member gets voted out here.
Hey, what's up, Sagevivor? It is Kate here, and my dog Phoebe. Anyway, this week was fairly boring. Found out that I suck at Tetris. I got like, I don't know, 100,000, 500, no big deal or anything. You gotta do the T-spin. I know all about it. Our tribe got second place. So this week, Apple went on the reward, and Swan told everybody that he got the idol from the journey, so I sort of had to do like some damage control. Well, not necessarily damage control. I was just like, oh, I had just assumed that Liv got the idol. Because that's who I had voted for. It's not. I voted for Swan, but they don't know that. My tribe isn't going to tribal. I think I trust Exy the most. Exy and I play Fortnite, so that's cool. I don't know, we get along pretty well, and I actually really like him. I really like Apple. Caden is there, and I don't think Jason and I have had more than like a 2-minute conversation, which is fine. I don't know, I feel like I have enough numbers. Also, if you see Phoebe in the background panting, our AC is currently broken, and they were supposed to come 3 days ago, and then 2 days ago, and then yesterday, and then today, and they still haven't fixed it. So our apartment's hot as fuck, and yeah, Phoebe's fine. She has ice water, lots of it. She's just choosing to sit in the sun.
Abracadabra, give us new air conditioning, Sage. Send us air conditioning.
Yeah, Sage.
Blow some cold air on me, Sage.
Fart. Come fart in our apartment, Sage. We'll pay you. I have just had a very shitty and draining week at work and like in my personal life. So I sort of like put my like social relationship sort of like on the back burner for most of the week. But I did my apologizing, explained to everyone like I was trying not to, we here, we rocking, haven't been voted out. I don't know, hopefully we merge soon. If we merge soon, Exy and I were talking about what we would do if we did merge soon, and so I told Exy about Sarah's amulet and Jason's amulet and Katie's amulet, which RIP Katie, they got voted off at the last tribal council. So Exy and I are trying to come up with a plan, because I guess Sarah is very well known in the org community, which this is my very first like solo org. So I don't know, to me, the beach wizard sitting next to me is like a fucking legend, but to everyone else, it's Sarah. Exy and I are planning on when and how we're going to blindside Sarah and Jules and Jason. So I don't know, we'll figure it out, but that's all I got for you. Head on out.
This tribal here with Swan is going to be quite something, I'm sure. Swan is sitting on one, if not two advantages, one of which is an idol. So, yeah, that's pretty dang strong to have a tribe of 5 where one person's immune. So it's like, yeah, good luck with that. If Rob or Jacob goes here, that's probably bad for me. I mean, it would suck to lose either one of them. I hope it's either Swan or Edis. We can't really do a whole lot. It's time to sit here and wait and hope for the best, I guess.
Once again, whether or not I'm going to play this goddamn idol changes by the hour, honestly. I do feel like I made really good... Look at this, like, theme park sunburn. I do feel like I made good progress with Rob and Katie, and I would like to trust them and not have to play the idol. However, now that I'm on this journey, it could like raise a couple flags that like, oh, they picked me for the journey. And it could be like, oh, Swan's well connected over there and Hamburger wants to protect him. Which is true. I mean, I'm not well connected, but they do want to protect me. So, I'm on this journey and Chewy is DMing me. This all happens in the middle of a fucking dinner shift. In the middle of me fucking serving Logan Lerman. And that did happen tonight. He's hot as fuck. Chewy is DMing me and like, bro, congrats on the idol. And I'm like, thanks. I'm like, okay, so Liv spilled, which is fine. I expected that. That's why I got ahead of it. And told Katie and Rob. That's part of the reason, at least. And then shocker. And then I'm like, hey, how's it going? Da-da-da-da. And he's like, bro, you have to idol. You have to play that idol. Like Katie and Adis were all close, and you have to play the idol. And I'm like, yeah, they all told me this information earlier today. Like, I know everything.
If we do go to tribal, and I actually think we might here, it's going to be Adis. Now, Adis, I really enjoyed them on my last tribe, but since coming to the Cupcake tribe, all they have done is talk about themselves. And I understand that maybe they're not as aware that they're doing so, but it's really starting to get on people's nerves. Some people in my tribe are going through some things right now and would like to be able to open up to her, and she's not really allowing that to happen. And as much as I personally like Adis, I think she's a lovely human, and I'm glad I was able to help her in the hotel, I also think Adis is not going to be able to go very far in this game if they're not able to make those connections. I just asked, they asked me what I was doing today, and I was like, oh, I'm, packing up for Indiana. Kind of hoping they would be like, what's going on in Indiana? Where are you going? Giving them a little bit, just like a little nibble in case they were more interested. Nah. They immediately went into what they were doing for the day, which is fine. It's whatever, but it's hard to play with somebody who's not willing to listen and just willing to talk. As much as it pains me to say, between the KD vote and I think Ada's kind of rubbing people wrong on this tribe, I'm not about to stick my neck out for her and get her to stay safe. I think longevity wise, I have a better chance with a Swan than I do Adis. So Rob's really made deep connections in. That was way too much spray. Holy crap. Rob's made way more connections with Liv, with Jacob, Exy, people that he got to continue to play the game with when we did the swap. I was really hoping that I would be able to bring some people to an alliance too and be like, look, here's this person and they're great and we'll play with them too. I think the only person I was able to do that with was Swan. And now I'm kind of kicking myself for not being able to do more one-on-one with Swan in our tribe. But, I never left Swan on red. I think Swan and I have a fine relationship. I don't know.
I feel safe, and maybe I'm stupid for feeling safe, but I don't know. There's like a gamble at like this point in the game where I'm like, if these people vote me out, like I was fucked anyway, so they might as well vote me out. And if I could like hold the idol and prove that I trust them and build trust with them, then that would be worth it long term. So it's kind of like go now, or like it's high risk, high reward kind of thing. So my plan was to trust them, not play the idol, vote out Adis unanimously, and hopefully merge next and go into that merge with like Rob and Katie and Sarah and Jules kind of as my two core trios.
I'm hoping Swan and I get a chance to voice chat today. The only hard thing with Swan is that they are up and they're California time. I'm East Coast. So like when all these challenges are coming in, it's 8 o'clock in California, but it's like 10 here, or 7 o'clock there. It's 10 here, I think. And I have a 9-month-old that wakes me up around 6 here. So I feel like when everyone's active, I'm usually about to pass out and I'm not thinking straight. Sorry if you hear the construction outside my window. Our neighbors are building a porch. But tomorrow I'm riding a bus to Indiana tomorrow night. Through the night, we leave here at 9 or 10 o'clock, like my time, Eastern, and 10 o'clock at night, which will also be when like they announce stuff and everything in this game. But I'm probably not going to sleep that well. I'm going to get some sleeping pills today. Because I'll be on a noisy bus with high schoolers. I'm hoping though I can connect more with Jacob and with Swan. I don't know how hard my tribe is going to try this challenge because A, we think the hamburger tribe is going to take it, and B, Rob specifically is really nervous if we go to if we don't go to tribal and hamburger wins and we're like second, right, that Liv is gone, which I agree. If salad goes, Liv has no chance because clearly they were trying to stay strong to the hamburger tribe. So
but I definitely have I had the most game talk with Sarah, and then Chewy is the bane of my existence. Chewy is my new Jason. No, but the thing is, I like Chewy. I think Chewy has a great personality. Like, I feel like I could actually talk to Chewy. Whereas with Jason, I don't. But I have to have a Jason in every tribe, you know. But because he was just being weird throughout the day, and like he's like, "You're not naming a name." I'm like, "You're not naming a name. I literally told you I'm not voting you. I would prefer not to vote Sarah." That leaves us two options. Like, you were not even telling me like, "Oh, I want to vote this person," or "Oh, I don't want to vote this person." Like, Chewy, you are the fucking man that you're describing. Like, whatever. And so I tell Chewy the truth, and he's just like, and I was like going back and forth with him. I'm like, "Look, like, I am sorry that I lied. You can be mad that I lied. Like, that's fine. That's up to you. Like, sure, I did lie. I'm a big fat liar. Whatever. Don't care. Call me a liar, because I am a liar, and I don't regret lying. I don't." But I was like, I'm just saying, like, can you see it from my perspective in the sense that how would me telling you guys that I have a cell phone put me in a better position? Like, that's all that I'm asking for you to understand logistically. Like, understanding, like, you don't have to forgive me, but I want you to understand why I lied. Like, being like, "Hey guys, I have a cell phone," that's not gonna help me. Like, so me and Chewy were kind of like going at it a little bit, and he was like, "Oh, like, you were like so cagey today," and I'm like, "Yeah, because I didn't have a vote. Like, I didn't really have, like, I had to play the defense, and that was the best that I had. Like, sure, I was being a little weird, like, oh, like, I don't really know who I want to vote, but neither did you. And then he was like, "Oh, so, like, are you close to Rob, Katie, and Jason?" And I said, I was like, "Oh, like, depends what you mean by close. Like, Katie, like, I like her. I don't really get much out of her, though. I was like, but, like, Jason and Rob, like, I've been with them longer." And then he was like, "Oh, so you're close with them, you're working with them." And I'm like, let's not jump to conclusions. All I said was a literal fact that I spent more time with Rob and Jason. If you would let me finish, you would know that I have a hard time connecting with Jason, and that I really like Rob, but I don't know where we stand, which I guess is kind of a lie. I feel good with Rob, and that's about it. Anyway, but we were kind of going at it a little bit. I can't even lie. So I'm really hoping that the girls get sketched out by Chewy, and if we go to tribal, he can just go. But I'm so close to the merge. I'm going to go lock into Tetris. I'm not going to move. But I did want to do like an actual recap because I was actually busy yesterday. And also, I just kind of felt defeated. I didn't think that there was going to be a way for me to stay. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And Chewy was, I don't trust Chewy now. Sorry. I'm jumping all over the place. This is how my little brain works. But like, the thing with Chewy, so we were talking in our alliance chat of like me, Chewy and Sarah about like weighing up our options about Sarah versus Liv. And every time we would say something, like a few minutes later, KD would come back and be like, "Chewy's telling me this." And it was done enough times accurately, and the timing was spot on, that like at first I thought they were just making shit up and just happened to be guessing right. But it happened too many times. So I think Chewy might have been leaking information to them, which is not okay. So if we do lose this challenge, and like Sarah had already messaged me about this, saying my exact thoughts. Like, I was almost ready to vote Chewy here because of what he was doing. But yeah, if we do go back again, I would be willing to vote for Chewy over Liv, because Liv is really nice now, and she might run back to her connections. You know, this could be Australian Survivor Heroes versus Villains thing where like the girls were trusting Flick and then Flick ran away from them, and George was spot on with trusting Matt more. Sorry, I recently watched that season, it's fresh in my brain. But like, it could be that situation where she's going to run back to her people. But I do think because we've had 2 swaps, I think this merge is going to be fluid. So it's not a bad thing to save her a little bit longer.
Out of all the things I could suck at, I have asthma and I wear glasses. So like I suck at breathing and seeing. All right, so what's going on over here? So we won immunity. The last 24 hours, really, there hasn't been any sort of real game talk because we've all been doing Tetris. Or let me rephrase, Jules and I were doing Tetris. Tetris is something that I'm pretty good at. I have played competitively, but not on that website. Puyo Tetris is my favorite, and I'm starting to get back into Tetris Effect. I like the ones where you go head to head. So the triple wide and the 4 wide strategies. If you know what those are, that's what I do. Sending garbage to people. Super fun. And Tetris Effect is really pretty because it has the animals and okay, whatever. But yeah, me and Jules were doing Tetris. I don't know what Liv and Chewy were doing. They apparently just don't understand Tetris. And me and Jules were like, just clear the lines. Finally, I was like, this is what you need to do. And they still like, whatever. I didn't even tell them anything about like T-spins because like, don't even try to focus on that at this point. I thought I could push a little higher because I played Craig Viger with Iron and we talked a lot of shit about Tetris. And if he's watching this, y'all just tell him to meet me over on Puyo Tetris with the new drop that they're doing for the Switch 2. Or Tetris Effect. Because this was not it. I played on this website years ago and I had like an 860,000 score. So I figured I could possibly get like 700, I didn't think I would get as high as I used to be, but like my highest score I had was like a 450 something, but I had messed up the screen that I had shared. But I had saved my second highest from last night, and today all of mine were roughly around the same, so I was just like, whatever, I'm done. But we still won. Me and Jules pulled that out. I don't know what Jason's score was. So on our tribe, we voted out Katie last time, even though we were going to vote out Liv. So we had these strategies, right? Where it was like, if we vote out Katie, this is what we're going to do. If we vote out Liv, this is what we're going to do. Basically how we're going to treat them both. But Chewy, I guess, did not quite understand the plans. So one of them was like, if we're going to vote out, I can't remember if it was Liv. I think it was Liv, yeah. If we're voting out Liv, then we're going to use one of our names. And I was like, you guys can use mine. Like, it's fine with me. But obviously we went the KD route and Chewy was still using my name. And again, it's fine. I do trust Chewy because I know he trusts me. He just quickly started trusting KD and it got messy real fast. And KD got kind of chaotic, was telling all sorts of stuff, naming names to all these people, and me and Jules were just like, okay, it's over. Like, it's done. And at this point, like, we can't just have you and Adis at the merge. Like, this is, no.
But I was looking at the placement channel, and it says in there when merge is. They've never merged at 12, which I respect, because if you're starting jury at merge, you can't have a final 3 and a 9-person jury, because you could end up with a 3-3-3. And, like, how do you split that? So I respect that. But it looks like most games have merged at either 11 or 13. Most of them are at 13. So hopefully this is the last challenge before merge. And then we're at merge, which is awesome. But yeah, look, obviously it might not be. I'm not getting ahead of myself, but fingers crossed.
And Chewy afterwards, he was feeling a lot of regret. But he was just like, I really want to trust people. And he told me about how Kate screwed him over in their last game and all this stuff. But he just really wants to trust people, and I told him, like, you can trust us, like, we're here, like, we don't, but yeah, I don't know, it was like this emotion, it was a little bit of a vulnerable moment from Chewy that I had never seen before from him, but he was also on a cruise, so he might have been drinking. I don't know, But it was interesting, and I did make a note in my confessional because Tetris. So also Liv came back and she told us this really convoluted story about the journey. And I messaged Jules and I was like, hey, this is bullshit, right? Like this comes off as complete bullshit to you, right? Because this is what I'm picking up from her words. Like, this doesn't sound right at all. And she was like, okay. I was making sure I was like, that's exactly what I was thinking too. I was like, okay, so you picked up on it. And then we told Chewy, and obviously it was bullshit. So her lie was, she said something like, she started with saying it wasn't anything special. And she said, well, it's really OP, like you can change the votes or something. And it's like, but there was like also a really long pause. And I thought maybe that she was talking with Katie about it. And no, she wasn't. She said it was all her. And I was like, okay, well, that was even worse. I joked with her about it. I was like, yeah, I mean, it was pretty terrible. But, I mean, regardless. But she came clean. And her real story is much more believable. So she said that all three of the people at the journey, her, Kate, Swan, had to assign an idol to someone else and assign a self-vote to someone else. Obviously, and this part is true. We know this is a fact. Swan and Kate gave her a self-vote. Liv said she gave the idol to Swan. So that means that logically, because of how the numbers work, Kate had to have given the idol to Swan. So we did choose Swan and Apple to go on this journey with Chewy today. I'm curious to see what Chewy comes back and says. And then I want to find out what Apple says and Swan says and see if they all tell the truth. I do think out of the three of them, if they're going to lie, Swan is the one that will tell me the truth.
Chewy is very adamant about me playing this idol, and the fact that Jacob's gonna witness it, I kind of have to be like, I can't like fake play the, I can't like, I have to play the idol. I have to play, because like, and this is what I'm gonna tell Rob and Katie is, if I don't play the idol now, it's gonna look so sus and like expose our new trio.
I think he has the idol. I think he's gonna play it regardless of what happens today. He knows he's kind of fucked. Me and Jules told him like, hey, you're fucked, like. Which is why we fucking threw the first challenge, right? Me and Jules, we hold a lot of power on this tribe, and I don't think Chewy realizes how close I am to Jules. Another fun thing to note is that Chewy shared his trust rankings with KD. I'm not really sure why, I guess to gain trust in some capacity, but in response, KD gave their trust rankings to Chewy. Not that it really matters, but I was number one on Chewy's. Just cool.
Because I told Chewy, I was like, I actually really trust him. Rob seems really fed up with ATE, but maybe I'm wrong and you're right. And he just like drills it into me enough. And maybe he's like talking sense to me that I needed to fucking hear. But so my plan is going to be, first of all, I don't know what the fuck is going to happen on this journey. It's going to be so fucking annoying. Also, I'm sorry, I like delayed the results. That also sucks when I'm fucking at Tribal and literally have like delayed journey results because like I have to go talk to people. I mean, I don't really have to talk to people because like ATE is going. But
so yeah, I think that's about where we are. Tetris is in the Video Game Hall of Fame for a reason. Don't really know why people don't know how to play it. It literally created like a whole subgenre of video games. It was so wild. Me and Jules carried this shit, and we deserved being immune. I did tell Liv about my connection to Exy. We share a server with Exy, a mutual one, Sagevivor, actually. I video chatted with Liv tonight, right before the results dropped, and she comes off kind of fake. So I don't know if it's because it was the very first one and maybe I caught her off guard, but definitely, and I know it because I worked in hospitality, but it's kind of like that fake customer service kind of thing. That's kind of how it came off, and I was like, ooh, okay. So I don't know, I don't really trust her, but I think that she's a connection that I can use. Like I did tell Exy, like, I told him things that I knew that he would probably already know. Like, I was like, you know, I am aligned with, like, everybody on my tribe, or was. You know, we did vote out some people. But I didn't tell him, like, the main alliances. I didn't tell him my number ones. I shared things that I hoped was enough that would not put him on edge. And me ultimately keeping Liv, even though this wasn't the original plan, it wasn't what we were talking about. But I mean, we always were like, well, we're going to discuss it anyway. But maybe it would make him not feel so bad. I don't know. He's really intuitive, and I don't know if I misplayed talking to him during the hotel round.
It's not like Jacob or Rob is that important to my game. I think Rob is less important than Jacob is. Jacob did offer me a Final 3 deal, which is great, so hopefully he doesn't get the bullet here. Rob I wouldn't be as upset about, but still I don't think it's like the best move. So ideally Edis or Swan, but you know who goddamn knows, right? There's a bit of drama between Apple and Jason as well. Not that it's really anything that major, but they've never really liked each other. Like they've never super gotten along. They've always had a tad of rubby between them, and that's kind of inconvenient for my game. So I'm trying my hardest to not let that go anywhere. Apple did ask me to tell him if anybody didn't believe him on his trip, but like I'm not gonna tell him that Jason doesn't believe him. Like that's just gonna create more division between those two, and I really want those two to get along. So no, Jason can tell you himself if he feels like it. Otherwise, I'm not getting in the middle of that. Come on, guys, we need to work together as a team. I'm just waiting for merge at this point, honestly. Come on, let's go. Merge, please. Please, I want the merge.
It's different when you play with someone who knows how you play, and I've never gotten to play with him. So if he makes it to the merge, and so do I, it's going to be very, very interesting, because I do want to work with him, but I can't throw my allies under a bus. But he knows that I'm going to have a lot of information, and I'm just not sharing it with him. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. I find that information is the most powerful currency in games like this. It's not that I don't think Chewie is going to tell me the truth, but I do want a way to verify it just in case. I have a fail-safe with Swan. I think Apple will ultimately tell me the truth, but Swan 1000% would.
So my plan is I'm gonna go back to the tribe. I'm gonna go to Rob and Katie. I'm gonna be like, y'all, like, Chewie does not trust y'all to have my back. And obviously, I don't want to expose how close we've become. So, he's telling me to play the idol. Obviously, he knows I have the idol. So, Liv told him. So, it's going to be public knowledge by merge. I would rather burn the idol now. And then we can, like, paint a narrative of, like, oh, I don't trust y'all and y'all don't trust me because I thought y'all were going to vote for me, so I played the idol, even though we all Yunnan booted Adis. Kind of where I'm going to go. And they'll probably push back on it, but I don't care. Like, I'm going to play the fucking idol. And that way, that kind of forces their hand to vote out Adis. Like, what are they going to do? Vote out Jacob? And if they vote out Jacob, okay. Like, I don't care. Only bad scenario is if they, like, if we don't merge, and then they're pissed, and then they, like, throw the challenge so that, they can go back to tribal and boot me. But that's why I'm telling them that I'm going to play the idol, and I'm glad I already told them about the idol, so that I can be like, hey guys, this is what I'm going to do. I think it'll help, like, keep us undercover, and also, like, it won't suss anybody out, because if I survive without playing the idol, apparently that's going to spook a lot of people, and clue people into the fact that the three of us are close now, because nobody believes that you're gonna, keep me over Ada's.
Long story short, a hamburger must go, a salad must stay. And I don't like to play tribal lines, but it's called Survivor. You gotta survive, girl.
I think that's the play, and then I could be like, we could pretend like we don't trust each other, even though we obviously do. So I'm gonna tell them I'm gonna idle, and then I'm gonna idle. This is why I don't like holding advantages. I told y'all I don't like holding advantages. It's stressful because every round becomes more. There's another choice to make every round, and I fucking hate it. There's another thing you have to consider every fucking round, and it's so fucking annoying. And that's part of the reason I'm like okay with just like fucking playing it now. I'm like annoyed that I'm kind of low-key being forced to play it by Chewy when I don't think I need to, but also like maybe I do need to, so great, let's just fucking do it. And we can get rid of Adis. And that's all I want at this point.
And that's all I'm doing right now, trying to survive. So time to build more connections, time to align myself with the right people and make it to merge. I think when I get to merge, I'm gonna have some like fun in my confessionals, do some, I don't know. I say that if I make it to merge. I've only made it to merge once in my work career. Please don't let me be most robbed. Most robbed better go to Katie. Robbed. Absolutely robbed. Anyway, look, heart you all. Have a good one.
So can we please merge after this? Please, 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 please. I think that's it. I'm playing the idol. I'm voting for Adis unless I lose my goddamn vote on this stupid fucking journey. One more sip of wine. And then I'm going to watch Love Island.
And just like that, Adis was voted out. Although she was a non-existent force throughout most of the game, we appreciate having you, and we hope you had a good time, Adis. In the next episode, we're going to be jumping into some more tea. It's only going to get spicier as the season goes on. Who are you rooting for? Let me know down in the comments. By the next episode, fan favorite voting will be open. So keep that in mind. I will have a link for you. And that's all. Bye.